like natural blondie brown colour. I do that. Hi everyone and welcome back to my channel. Now I've started this colouring page, but I thought I'd do the hair on camera to show you what I use and what colours I've chosen. I'm using my Brutfuner pencils. I've not used these in a little while, so I thought why not pull them out. Now these are not named, they're just numbered, so the lightest will be 90, then 92, and then 117, and then 23. So it's just them three colours. Now this paper is the Strathmore Tone Tan Mixed Media paper, so it is quite thick, as you can see there, and I've just popped it on this little board. Now this is the artist. I pulled it up on Etsy. This is the Christmas page that I downloaded, and here's the artist, just in case you're interested. I know that this artist does a lot of digital, like the different paintbrush styles, that sort of thing. But yeah, this page stuck out to me, and I've used a bit of watercolour in the background and glitter and gel pen and all sorts on this page. So I'll bring you down a little bit further, a little bit closer rather, and get started. I should be able to do this all in real time to show you actually how long it'll take me. I don't think it's going to take me all that long because there's not really loads and loads of hair to do. Now I'll have to take a note of what pencils that I've used, because when I finish the skin tone I'll need these for the eyebrows. I'll have to do them last. But yeah, I love this page and I hope that you enjoy the tutorial. To start off with, I will say as well that I've had to get a new lamp. My lamp broke a couple of weeks ago. Yeah, a couple of weeks ago now. So yeah, this is the first time that I'm using it filming. So the first colour, oh yeah, and I forgot to mention that it is the Brutfuner squares that I'm using. So number 90, I want this to be the lightest point. And as I'm going with the pencil, to try and keep it as sharp as possible for as long as possible, I'll keep turning the pencil. I'm just doing backwards and forwards motions. Now, these pencils are not as hard as the polychromos that I usually like to use for hair. But like I said, I wanted to change it up. Let's say Prisma, I would never ever use a Prisma for hair now, because I do believe that they're too soft and you can't get the really fine details. I'm not capable of doing that. The people that are, hats off. But I'm not capable of creating nice hair with Prismas, so I'll stick to what I know. I know that these ones are like a cross between a Prisma and a polychromos. They're an in-between. And an in-between a pencil. And an absolutely superb budget pencil. If you can grab them, especially when they're on offer, and they're usually always on offer. I think I got a backup set for about £15. So they're definitely worth picking up. So I'll have them linked in the description just in case you're interested. So the middle shade is 92. And I want to add this to where is going to be the darkest point. You're probably not going to see much of this colour, but we need that layer down. And then we can start deepening it up. I wanted this to be like a natural blonde colour. I think once we've popped the brown over the top, the darker brown colours, it won't look as banana yellow. And with it being on a tan tone paper as well, it'll pop more if you've not done a background like I have. Why is my camera shaking so much? I do apologise, let me fix that. So the camera is shaking so much because the light was touching it and the light is attached to the table, so it shouldn't shake whatsoever now. So I do apologise. Just noticed then when I put my head up to look at the voltage. So yeah, we're just adding this to where it's going to be the darkest point. Just try to keep the very centre light, but you don't want a line. You don't want to leave a line, you do want it quite random, so I'll put a couple of longer strokes. couple of shorter ones, and ham and chicken. I am using medium to high pressure here, especially with this colour, because I do want it to show up. You might be able to hear actually how much pressure I'm using. So the next colour is 117, and just start deepening this up. Now I'll work on this section, then I'll move over there. I think I've only got the skin tone to do. Once I've finished the hair, and this page is done. So again, medium high pressure. I've not pulled my little fan out, so I'll have to use this watercolour brush. That'll do the job. I'll do the job just fine. So again, you want to make it really random. You don't want really, you know, like a line in the centre, because you want it to look as natural as you can get it. I'm going to have to turn the page, I do apologise again. Just pulling that colour out. I mean, you wouldn't need to use this hard pressure if you was using the polychromos, because they are super duper pigmented. But let me show you on white paper. They are really pigmented, these, but because there's some areas of this on camera, there's some areas of this that I've got watercolour on, and it might not show up as well. Now in with the darkest shade, and that is number 23. So this one's showing up a lot nicer and easier to do. I'm not having to use such a hard pressure. So that's nice to know. So I did show you the artist name, but I will link this colouring page down below as well, in case you want to colour it before Christmas. So it's that same technique, you're just not going as far as you did with the other colours. You just want this darkness like poking through. But what I'll do at this point now, while it's coming to the end, you see where she's added the strokes, sort of go over them just to define them a little bit more. See these here. Pull that out. Then it's the opposite way down now, so pull the colour down. Let me just turn it, and I want to just double check. There's a couple of areas that I do want to add to. And that's basically the first area done. And what's that took? 4 minutes ish. So I will sharpen my pencils now. I'll sharpen them off camera because my pencil sharpener is super light. I want to keep these tips as sharp as possible. The one that I like is the Helix crank sharpener, and I've had this for about 2.5 years and never had an issue with it. I love this sharpener. So it does look quite natural, that. Very pretty. So we've already added the base, haven't we, of the 90 to this area. So I'll quickly go over. Now, luckily, with this illustration, the artist has put a little bit of grayscale, so you know where it's meant to be the darkest. Now I loads more prefer doing it this way than with just line art. I mean, with line art though, you can add your own highlights where you want them, but I think sometimes where you just want something easy to colour and they've already, you know, sort of mapped it out for you, so you're not having to think and worry about where to put the shadows. I think pages like this are ideal, like Mariola Budek, her pages as well. So I'm just adding the darkness where the grayscale is. We'll make this a little bit darker as well. And there's little bubbles at the back there that I've only just noticed. We'll have to go over with some gel pen maybe with them. Tiny little ones, there's one there and a tiny one there. Do you want to add some more of that yellow back in? It's more like a mustard shade, this actually. It reminds me a little bit, only a little bit, of the Green Gold by Polychromos, which that's my favourite pencil by them. So we'll work on this section I think now. We'll work from the centre and add the, what was it, 90? That's the lightest shade that we're using. Just in all the areas, there's no grayscale, there's no dark patches. And this will be our highlighted areas. And then on to the, what was it, 92. Now, near the hairline, I don't want a line going all the way around the face. Again, I want it to look a little bit more natural, so I'll do some longer, some shorter. So I'm not like, you know, like colouring a line around the face, because the hairline isn't like that. Just noticed all them shavings. Get away with it a little bit more on this side because there is line art, but ideally I wouldn't have had that line there and there. And then the lightest brown is 117, and this didn't show up all that well in that other area. It's more on the warm side, this brown. I do wish that they give the pencils names, not just numbers. Carefully go around the face there. I'm having to use quite a hard pressure with this colour. I'm not sure why it's so much different to the rest. And the darkest shade was the 23. I'll have to do the same thing again. Just be mindful of her face. And then a little bit more of the mustard. Even though it's not called that, it's 92. just a little bit, you know, so it's just poking through. So that's basically that half done, and that's about 10 minutes or so. Really easy. So we'll do the same on this side, and we'll work on the bun first. They call them the space buns. So the lightest shade is 90. I'll do this bun at the back as well, actually, at the same time. Might as well. So just fill in the lightest colour in with the lightest areas. So the next one was 92, which is the mustard. Medium to hard pressure now. Doesn't show up as well, definitely, where I've managed to get the watercolour on a hair. And then the medium shade, which was the 117. I do like the darker brown better than this one. I think that's possibly because of how it's working. The other one seems to work a little bit better than this. Now, there's no grayscale in this area at all, so I'm just going to go over just these lines, just like that, and while I'm at it, fill in that area. And then in with the darkest brown, which is the 23. Medium to hard pressure again, so I do want this quite dark. Oops. See, if you go out the area, go over it to make it look like that it was part of it, that it wasn't, it was a happy mistake. And I think I want to go over it one more time with the mustard shade. Just to have that colour poking through a little bit. And I want to sharpen my pencils as well one more time for this last section, just to make sure that they're as sharp as possible. We just got one more area now. So she's looking lovely. Really nice. So the lightest shade again on our last section is number 90, and you add this to the lightest areas of your colouring. Managed to get a little bit of watercolour paint there as well, right near the face. She'll be able to cover that up. And I've just realised I've missed this little section here, so I'm so glad that I've just noticed that now, as well as this side. So we'll get this little side done first, so don't forget again. Do this side. There is metallic watercolour paint on this side, so it might not show up as well. Let's see. Now there's no indication on this where to put the darker shade, so I'm just doing what I would usually do on line art, so not to get my pencils mixed up, because I have a tendency of doing that. I bet you were shouting at the camera that I missed that little bit. I would have been. Add a little bit of the mustard back in. I keep calling it mustard, they're not even named. So I've got all of the right pencil now. Anyway, was this 90? 92. Actually, we'll do this side. I was going to go to the right at the top, but we might as well do this while we're here. And then the brown that I'm not too keen on was this one, wasn't it? Yes, it was. It was the 117. We'll have to add it there. So make it a little bit random towards like the scalp. I think it's quite effective, this, with one of these 4 pencils. So I'm going to have to copy the other side, make it a little bit darker at the root here. And then the darkest one was 23. I do want to add a little bit more here because I'm not really happy with that area. A bit more than mustard. Which is number 92. That's what I'm going to have to refer this pencil to from now on. It's mustard. And there we are, I'm happy with that now. But really simple. I'll just go over the pencil shades again for you. The lightest one was 90, and then 92, and then 117, and then 23. And it's achieved this really like natural blondie brown colour. I do hope that you enjoyed this quick tutorial. Please do leave me a thumbs up if you did, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!